Hi everyone. What a week this has been. But here we are. I opened my huge book in front of me and I had my massive cup of coffee. My kids are in bed. I started making this video at 8 o'clock, but my kids were not in bed yet and I forgot to switch off the baby monitor, which I have on my desk. So I was already a few minutes into this video when I heard, Mama, Mama, ik zoek voor Mama. So obviously I had to abandon ship, but here I am again. Now I have some good news. I thought that this week's lesson was going to be about absolute cell referencing, but it is not. And um, that's a good thing because absolute cell referencing can be a little bit tricky. And I think we have to cover a bit more Excel before we get there, but that is obviously not going to be in tonight's lesson. So I'm going to start the lesson that you have in your slides. And when you look at this lesson, um, I recommend watching the video and then maybe going and just go through the slides and see if I covered everything you need to know. If you feel like I didn't do enough, then you can just let me know and I will make another video. But you must please tell me give me a slide number as well so that I know exactly where to go. Then the other thing is usually I don't do the whole thing, okay, because that takes a lot of time and I know some of you have data issues. So I'm just going to do a shorter version of this lesson and hopefully it will be good enough. As I go through it, I'm just going to explain a couple of things that I think you need to know or things that I think you might have forgotten or missed in lesson one. And yeah, let's see how this goes. So I've opened a blank spreadsheet and I'm starting in cell A1. I'm starting with the title, hyper mass, online storage. All right, if you hear some weird sounds, I've got 3 dogs here with me. One of them are ready to fight over a bone. That will not be funny. Okay, subtitle is salary report. Okay, then in cell A3, okay, here we start with the name employee, and then right next to that, dependents. All right. Okay, now when you get to cell C3, I want to enter a two-line heading in a single cell. Okay, what is a two-line heading? A two-line heading is a heading that is 2 lines but still in one cell. Now, you do that this way. You type the first word, hours, and now I'm not just going to press enter, I'm going to press alt enter, and you will see what's going to happen. Let me just make that work with a capital letter. Now you will see I've got a 2-line heading in a single cell. All right, like that. The next one is hourly pay rate, same story. So I'm saying hourly, alt enter, pay rate. Now you must hold, you must hold in the alt and then press enter. Let go of both, okay? And then we've got cross pay. Obviously, this is an American book, so they've got all sorts of tax, and we don't have these taxes. But it's not about the tax, it's about the it's about the formulas. Okay, so those are your column headings. Okay, what do I mean with column headings? These are columns. Okay, these are rows. Okay, so then I'm going to enter about 2 for each and then two people. So it will, so you can still see the formula now it works. So what is that person's name? Let me just get the full name. Michael. H-A-E-L. Right. Green Sue. Okay, let's make it 3. Phew, these names. All right. Okay, now remember what I told you in the first lesson, that even though it looks like it's going over to a next cell, it is not in that cell. Okay, and I'm not editing this thing now because in a bit we're going to get to something that's going to say formatting the spreadsheet, and then that is where you will change all your formulas and make columns bigger, smaller, and things like that. So we are just going to leave it like that. Now there's some data that you will enter offhand. These data they provide, and this is what you need for your calculations. Okay, so I'm just going to enter a few. Michael has 3, and then we have 0, then we have 1. Obviously, there's a few more. How many do we have? About 10. So I'm not entering 10. I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to say 60.45 hours. Now, how do I enter that? Okay, just like this, 81.5. I don't enter it with rands, dollars, commas, nothing. Please never press a comma when you enter a formula. When you press a comma, it's going to think it's an alphabetical character, and that's going to cause a lot of issues. If you press comma or you make a space, it's going to be, let me show you on a different cell. Let's say 65 comma 50.1. Okay, if you enter it with commas, you will notice that the whole number appears on the left hand side of the cell. This is a word. Excel sees this as a word because you used a comma. A number, as you can see here, a number is displayed on the right. So if you see your values on the left side of your cell, you must go and re-enter them correctly. Otherwise, you're going to have a bit of problems. All right, another thing, if you enter it with a space, 55 space 60, same story. It's going to be on the wrong side and it's going to see it's a word. Okay, don't use spaces, don't use commas. Okay, 69.5, and then the pay rate is 19.5, 22.85, and 17.36. Okay, so this is what we have. They gave us this and we will work with this. Okay, so at the bottom, underneath the last person, they also say totals with one S, and they say highest. Okay, now what is another word for highest? It's obviously maximum. Another word for lowest is minimum, and average is average. No special word for average. Okay, so we are looking at our spreadsheet like this. Okay, now nothing else is provided, and let me just mention something about the date. Okay, when we enter dates in South Africa and we use an American textbook, it's always so confusing to see which one is the year, which one is the month, which one is the day, because sometimes they say 03, 02, 01. Okay, what on earth? Okay, so in this exercise here, they give it to us like this: 4/5/2010. Okay, so I know this is the year, but this is this the day? Is this the month? Is this the month? Is this the day? Okay, so when I press enter, that is what I get. Okay, so often they will tell you to change the date to a specific date. Okay, when you don't change a date, you just click on the date that you entered, right click on it, and go to format cells. In format cells, okay, I'm going to go to the first tab that says number, then you're going to go down to date, and this is where you can choose how to display. But once again, I'm not sure if I choose this one or this one. It doesn't really matter. I don't know which one is the day month. Okay, let's guess. I think the first one is the month. Okay, and the next one is the day. Okay, maybe someone who's got American background will know. So what you can do is you can choose long date, or you can go and you can actually choose the United States English, and you will see it can possibly give you something like that. Okay, so in your test, in your homework, in your exams, I omit dates most of the time. Okay, for me, a date is actually just entering, for example, like this. You can enter it like this: July, 6, 2020, or whatever. Okay, for me, that is how I enter a date. So, but don't let the dates confuse you. Don't let the dates upset you. I don't even look at dates. In fact, I'm just going to remove the dates. Okay, so don't let that bother you at all. Okay, now let's go to our first formula. Our first formula is for gross pay. So we want our answer in this cell. What is the address of the cell? This address is E4. Okay, so we want to enter our formula in here. Okay, so they give us the formula. The formula is hours worked multiplied with hourly pay rate. Okay, so once again, you start with an equal sign. You always start with an equal sign. And then you're going to enter hours worked multiply hourly pay rate. The multiply button is the asterisk. Okay, you can find that on the number 8 key, or you can use the asterisk on your number keypad. Okay, right, that is my formula. Okay, so I just click in these cells. I'm not going to go and type 60.45 multiply 19. That is wasting time because you need the address if you want to copy it down. Okay, so I'm going to press enter, get my answer over there. Federal tax has a formula. Okay, the formula is this equal sign 0.22 multiply. Now we bring in a bracket. Okay, gross pay. Where do I see gross pay? Yeah, so I'm just going to click in that. Minus dependents. I'm going to click in dependents. Multiply with 24.32 that you entered. Alright, so notice here E4 I clicked in. Okay, that's that one. And B4 I clicked in. The rest I entered with my keyboard. Okay, I didn't make any spaces. I didn't leave anything open. I entered everything without a space. So I'm going to press enter and I get my answer. Right, state tax is next. So my formula for state tax is 0.04. Remember your equal sign. Multiply with gross pay. Okay, all in the same line. I'm not clicking anywhere else. I'm keeping all my formulas in the same line. The tax percentage, here we go, equal sign bracket. Okay, here we get federal tax plus state tax. Close the bracket, divided by gross pay, like that. Okay, so please make sure that you always stick to the numbers in the same line. Otherwise, your formulas are not going to work. Well, you need to copy them down. And if you don't do in the same line, it's not going to work. And then the last one is net pay. First, I put down my equal sign. Okay, then I go to gross pay minus bracket. Okay, federal tax plus state tax. Okay, now I've done all these calculations. Okay, now I'm going to show you something very awesome. You select all of them at the same time, and I'm copying all the answers down at the same time. If you couldn't wait that long, of course, you could have just dragged them down one by clicking on this little square until you get all the answers. But it saves a little bit of time if you wait and you just drag down all at the same time. Okay, now we are getting to the totals. Very easy to determine the totals. We did this in lesson 1, but let me help you now with this one. Okay, how do we calculate the total, right? Total is sum. So once again, I'm just going to say equal sign sum. When it appears, this function is the first one we take. Obviously, there's a lot of sum functions, okay? But we are using the first one. So some of these ones you will only meet in Excel Advanced class. And it's actually nice to know more than just the basic. Okay, double click on sum. And then you select your range, which is the things you want to add up. So I'm adding those things up. And then I'm clicking enter. Of course, these are only 3 blocks, so I can easily check if it's correct. 3 and 1 is 4. Yeah. Okay, now we are going to calculate the maximum. Okay, very easy. Equal sign max stands for maximum. Okay, here you can read in the tip it gives you. Return the largest value of in a set of values. Now, I already know the largest value is 3. Now you are going to say to me, no, it's 4. You can't select 4. 4 is the total. We do not ever work with totals when we calculate max and min and so on, because obviously the total is going to be the biggest. So you're not choosing a total. So now I'm going to select max, and I'm once again selecting my range. And now can you see that I did not select the totals? Do not select the totals. You do not want to include a total in this formula. Okay, so press enter. Okay, let's do lowest. Lowest is min, equal sign min. Okay, here we go. Double click. Once again, I will only choose the first three. I do not want any other answers in my calculations. I do not want to include my total, because if you are going to say total, it's going to look at four values. And some people actually, while they're doing this work, they are often thought somewhere and they actually select the whole range. And they think that they should, but you shouldn't. You just select the first three. The lowest is 0, of course. And then last but not least, average, AVER. And then you select average and you select the first three again. So I never ever selected the total, the highest, the lowest, or the average for any of my calculations. I only selected the first three. Okay, as I did with the first part, I just select all of them at the same time. And now I will pull on my square and I will get all my answers for the remaining cells. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at my book quickly to see if there's anything else I want to show you quickly. Hold on, we did that one. Okay, in your book you will, or in your exercise, you may come across something that's called a verifying formulas using rangefinder. Well, that is just fancy language for double click on a formula. Okay, it's like this. If you double click on anything with a formula, it will give you the range and the formulas that it contains, and all the other cells that also contains the formula or is associated with that formula. So if they say use range finder to verify your formulas, it basically just means click on the cell twice, double click, and have a look. All right, there's a little bit of formatting, okay, but I'm going to make that in another video because this one is becoming very long. All right.